Good afternoon from Port Lincoln National Park in South Australia. We have made it back and this video starts right now. Let's go. All right, and good day once again from the Australian beach, South Australia. Got my singlet on, all mic'd up. We got our camper van and already got down with the lingo, but welcome back. Welcome to Australia. This is a place that's very special to Nellie and I. South Australia, we're in Port Lincoln National Park at the very bottom of the Eyre Peninsula, which is a lesser visited part of Australia and lesser known too. So I think you're in for a bit of a treat in this video because it is spectacular. As you can see, giant beach behind us and there is absolutely nobody here. And it is just about a week before Christmas. And this is the school holidays as well in Australia. So it's quite a busy time to be traveling around and there's nobody here. So this is our honeymoon for Nellie and I, and Matteo is with us, of course. Now, I will tell you that you're not gonna see too much of Nellie and Matteo in this video. We've tried to make a point of not featuring them on YouTube.
It's not feature us. Not a good idea.
Yeah. As much as it'd be nice to see a lot more of you though in a bikini. But the privacy aspect of having a life online is something that we are conscious of. So I will share with you the story of how we met and why this place is so important to us. And you will see a little bit of Nellie and Matteo in this vid, but it's not like a family vlog, as you guys know watching the channel. So welcome back. We're gonna explore Port Lincoln National Park, Coffin Bay National Park, and it's a beach day, God's country. This is absolute paradise. We are late December. It's got to be like 27, 28 degrees. Empty beach. Hello? Are you there? All right, we're back up here at the campsite. Got the hammock set up and it is just a beautiful day. Super, super sunny, little bit of wind. Still not really helping us with these Aussie flies, but look at this location. Fisherman's Point in Port Lincoln National Park, South Australia. I said that at the beginning, but let me give you a bit of a backstory as to why we're here, because this is our honeymoon. And I met Nellie in Australia 10 years ago, which is absolutely incredible. I actually met her on the very first day that I arrived in Australia up in Darwin. And we did a road trip together from Darwin down to Adelaide. And then about 6 months later, she was living in Handorf, which is a little village in the Adelaide Hills. And I was living on Kangaroo Island. And I had started planning this road trip to go from Adelaide to Perth, Perth to Darwin, Darwin to Brisbane. And Nellie and I were still in contact from that first road trip. And I was basically looking for an excuse to hang out with her and said, hey babe, do you want to, hey babe, no, I said, hey Nellie, would you like to plan a trip with me and do another road trip, across the southern part of Australia, the Nullarbor, for those who know it. And she said, yeah, hell yeah. So that's how we started kind of getting together, and then one thing led to another, and we were dating and sharing one tent throughout that journey, which was quite nice. But hey, that's how that all started. And one of the reasons why South Australia is so important for us is because that's where we met. That's where this began. And 10 years later, we're now married. We have our first child, and we've returned here to explore South Australia and share these amazing locations with you guys. So as we go through this video, I'm going to share a little bit more about why South Australia was, why I was living here, why Nellie was living here, and give you a little bit more insight into this whole story, because it's a good one. It's a good story. It's a story of love, story of passion, travel, photography, and help shape who we are as people. So let's move on from Port Lincoln. We're gonna spend the night here in Port Lincoln National Park, and then we're going to Coffin Bay. And yeah, you're in for a treat. This part of the Eyre Peninsula of South Australia, absolutely beautiful. All right, I don't have the mic on, but we were just cooking dinner and a little kangaroo came to say hello. You guys see that? Right here at the campsite. Unbelievable. Good morning from the next day. This is a perfect opportunity to share with you a little bit more of the backstory on the professional side of how South Australia changed my life and also Nellie's life, because we were both working here separately, and even though we had met in Darwin on that first day and done the road trip together, our paths kind of went away from each other for a few months and then came back after probably about 6 or 7 months of both of us being here in South Australia. So I shared a little bit of that with you before, but how did I get here? Some of you may know, some of you may not. So I'm going to try and share with you this this crazy story just in the next minute here with this piece to camera. Okay, so I'm from Canada. I studied adventure tourism in the Rocky Mountains, which is a thing at the College of the Rockies, adventure tourism business operations. It's a 2-year college diploma. And when I graduated from that, I started working with G Adventures, which is a small groups adventure travel company. And I was based in the Southern Cone region of South America. So I was a tour leader in Argentina, Chile, of course, Patagonia, Bolivia, Paraguay, Uruguay, and southern Brazil. Absolutely life-changing experience. I wouldn't trade that for the world. It was during my early 20s, and I gained a ton of travel experience and knowledge and independence, and that was just a phenomenal chapter in my life. However, as things started to change, I knew that I was interested in the next opportunity. And that's when this PR campaign kind of flew into my radar, and it was called The Best Jobs in the World. So some of you may remember this. If you don't, it's about a decade ago where Tourism Australia introduced this PR, basically a stunt saying, we will give you the best job in the world, $100,000 salary. You know, you live on an island, it's gonna be bloody incredible, blah, blah, blah. It's Australia, it's God's country. And all these people would apply for that, trying to get their friends and family to support them. So Australia is spreading the word of Australia, you know, throughout the world without having really to do much except for hire 6 people to actually fulfill these best jobs in the world. So I was part of this competition, and very long story short, I ended up making it to the finals, where they flew over 21 people from wherever they were from to Sydney, Australia. I was flying in from Rio de Janeiro at the time. I was staying in Rio. So I flew from Brazil to Sydney and was part of that finalists kind of mini competition, where we came down here to South Australia and took part in, again, like mini competitions, meeting some of the tour operators and some of the people working for the South Australian Tourism Commission. And eventually I won. So in 2013, I won this job. 2014, I started working here in Australia, so 10 years ago, and my position as the wildlife caretaker was to travel around the state of South Australia, taking as many photos as possible, meeting all the different tour operators and the destination marketing organizations and the national parks and wildlife people, and some of the information, anybody that was connected within the tourism industry here. It was my job to go and visit them and capture what it is that they were doing. So a lot of wildlife, a lot of flora and fauna, a lot of tourism activities, including shark cage diving, swimming with sea lions, you know, living at a koala sanctuary, all these just incredible experiences, which I was able to capture with my camera, creating videos, taking thousands of photos, and building as a photographer, as a travel photographer working within the tourism industry. So that position absolutely changed my life. And during those first 6 months, that's when I started trying to integrate Nellie, and she came to visit me in Kangaroo Island, and I was trying to get like different models and trying to figure out how I could work with other travelers and backpackers. And when that job's kind of ended, that's when we bought the Nissan. Well, I bought the Nissan Patrol, and we started planning this road trip from, you know, Adelaide to Perth, Perth to Darwin. And my first contract out of the Best Jobs in the World competition was with Western Australia, separate state. And they hired me to capture photos as I was going about this road trip. So that was the first contract that I got that essentially launched Snell Media, the company that I still run today. So this is also a 10-year anniversary of my small business and what helped launch my career as a travel photographer. So a whole bunch of really, really important things happened, you know, here in South Australia for me personally and professionally. And the reason that I wanted to come back here for our honeymoon, and Nellie as well, is because of that. You know, it had such an impact. And for Nell too, like for her personally, this was a gap year between high school and university. So she was 19, turning 20, living here in Australia for a year, learning a new language, you know, having like real independence and freedom on the other side of the world for an entire year. It's just an awesome opportunity to grow and learn, as you guys all know. I don't need to tell you that, but Nell at that time was, you know, learning more about herself, and then us getting together at that same time really helped cement our relationship. And when she decided to go back to Germany for university, I only had about 1 month left on my visa, and I was up in the Northern Territory going over to Queensland, and I thought to myself, okay, I want to go and chase this love. You know, this is the opportunity. This is the next chapter, is to follow this girl who I don't want to leave, you know, and she wants to go and continue her growth. And the opportunity for me, because I had a lot more freedom, I think it was 26, 27 at the time, I got to go, you know. So I chased Nell and went to Germany, and it was, I think, January of 2015. So super beautiful here in Australia and super cold and miserable over in Hamburg, which we've escaped, by the way. That's why we're here for Christmas and New Year's. But yeah, that was 10 years ago, and a brief kind of overview on why the Best Jobs in the World and that experience here in South Australia was so important for me and the business that I currently run, and of course for our personal lives between Nellie and I, who are now married and have a child, and we're back here 10 years later. So I hope you've enjoyed a bit of that story time. This video is meant to be, yeah, just a bit of an overview as to why we came here to celebrate our honeymoon. And next up for us, we're heading to Victor Harbour for Christmas, and then Kangaroo Island for the gap between Christmas and New Year's. And I'm hoping to make the next video as part of this little mini Australia series from Kangaroo Island, because that's where I spent a good chunk of the Best Jobs in the World. So we're gonna head off to Kangaroo Island, and I'll share with you a bit of that really, really special, magical place.